That's not terrible. Right. We are in the Pajero Sport today, but we're not going anywhere in particular. As a matter of fact, it's quite a short little drive. We're just taking it downstairs to the shed where all the tools and everything are. We're gonna do some modifications. So we're gonna be doing a big trip in this soon. Doing quite a bit of camping and full driving and stuff like that. Pretty basic full driving, if I'm being completely honest. But we've got a big trip planned and we're going to have to kit this out so we can live in it for a lot longer, take a lot more fuel, a lot more food, keep food cold. And that means we're gonna do a lot of stuff on the back, a lot of stuff on the roof, a lot of wiring, and a lot of the stuff, we gotta do a lot of stuff, let's be real. We got a lot of stuff that we need to do. We don't have any of the wires. I need to go out and buy a heap load of wires to wire everything up, but I don't know how much I need just yet because I don't have everything mounted. So today's and probably tomorrow's mission is gonna mount absolutely everything, as much as we can, onto this car. Then we can figure out what battery we wanna get, what inverter we wanna get, and get everything wired up from there. But first, let's mount everything, which does mean I need to get some things out of the way to make some room. And these are all the goodies we have to install. We've got everything from drawers, UHF, lights, and then this big lot of plywood here is to help make the drawer setup at the back. That's probably where I'm gonna start, because I think that's gonna take the most effort. And it's probably the area I'm most excited about, and it's the one that's gonna be most dependent. It's not dependent on anything, it's only dependent on the things that are in the back. But I'm looking forward to that one most, so we're gonna do that one. So the drawers, that's gonna be where we spend a lot of our time, especially when we're at camp. So here's what we're thinking. So we've already installed a 2-inch lift kit onto this just the other day, me and a mate of mine. We're also gonna put bigger tyres on it too, which is gonna raise it up another inch. That's gonna make this a little bit taller, but not that much taller. The main thing I wanna figure out is, because the kitchen setup and everything is here, I wanna figure out what height it's gonna be at. So, hello. Oh, are you okay? Go find a stick. Anyway, driver side, we're gonna have a drawer that slides out that's gonna be all the kitchen setup and everything like that. This side's gonna have the fridge, which is also a drawer slide fridge. It's all cheap stuff because, like, I'm not doing anything too insane, so, you know, I figured just go cheap, and then if it breaks, you can just replace it. We'll see if that bites me in the butt. The only pain in the butt with this project and putting everything in the back here is the spare wheel. I can't access the spare wheel unless I lift up this panel. That's how I lower the spare wheel down, because it's kept underneath and there's like a little winch that's on it. That means I have to keep this area open, which is a bit of a pain in the butt. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna raise up a little bit of a ledge there, and underneath it is gonna be storage for a fold-out table, because I always seem to need a fold-out table. So that sort of works out, but I think that's the next thing we need to figure out. So let's get the kitchen drawer out, figure out the height of it. Then that's more off to one side. So I think that's gonna be the perfect height there. Like, it's gonna be another, like, say, 2 inches taller. let's talk you through what we've done and what are the problems that we've encountered. You're not one of the problems, unless you want to be. This works out well. Maybe could have made it a bit deeper so the table fits all the way under, but it's fine like that. That's no real drama. I had to recess it anyway, put this wooden platform back a little bit because of the way that the boot curves. But there's also another curve which I didn't know about. It curves that way. Like, it's obviously there, you can see it's narrower, but this curves in as well. And it's like from there to there, it's in further. I didn't realise that, which means I can't stack two of these little drawers, which is this one here, on top of each other, right next to each other. This actually here, this big one here, which is the kitchen, isn't centered. It's actually more that way, if that makes sense. I don't know. We're also quite overexposed. Let's see if we can fix that. Look, we're learning, ladies and gentlemen. But here's the setup that I'm thinking of finishing on. The only drama I foresee with this setup is that on either side of the wings, where the wheel arches is, right here and right on this side, there's just a big void and stuff's gonna fall down there. And it's not overly difficult to get it out, but it's just awkward. So I don't know what I want to fill that space with. What I will do though, behind the fridge, there's room for the battery. Originally I was gonna try and put the battery on the either side of the drawers, but because they take up so much space, I'm thinking battery behind the fridge, which I reckon to protect the battery and to protect this, we'll encase this in plywood as well. So we'll go from that little gap there across and then match the height of this. I think it's gonna be great. This bit I'm looking forward to. We're mounting 6 of these lights here. And the idea is to try and keep them as low as possible so I can still have stuff on the roof hanging over the edge and the lights aren't getting in the way. But yeah, 6 of them across the top there. So let's make the bracket for it. Holy crap! What can you notice about this, other than it not being square because I didn't finish it? This side, this bend here, it's a lot shorter than that on there. You know the whole measure twice, cut once? I swear, because I do this so often, I measure like 3 times half the time, and I still stuff it up. I don't even know how, but I stuff it up. Well, that's that. I can't do anything else because this was my last piece of bar, so I need to go get some more flat bar. I'm going to be crossing the Nullarbor, right? And I have been figuring out last night about time frames and everything. I'm going to be cutting it close with getting the fridge installed on my car and other bits that I'm going to need because we're not going to have ice and stuff for days. I still don't have a UHF installed either. I have to do that at some point. Anyway, we're back. And I have been shopping. Bought some more flat bar. So this one's a bit thinner too. It's only 3mm thick. The other one was 4. I reckon that might mean we need to add some extra support, but it should mean that it's a hell of a lot easier to bend so we don't run into the issue of damaging my vise any further than I already have. So let's bend this up, finish off that bracket. Once again, not going to mount it to the car permanently. I've got to paint it, prime it, do all the right things. But yeah, finish this off, then move on to mounting probably the awning. I've got the bolts for that now, so I can mount the awning up properly. And then rest of the lights, that's pretty much it for what I can do for now. And then I've got to wait for all the wiring equipment to come, all my batteries and everything, and then I can wire everything up. But first, let's get this bracket done. For you, nothing has happened. For me, I've drilled a bajillion holes. That is so good. Now that the bracket's all ground down and all done, that's just finished. All I need to do now is get some paint and get it all painted. So that will wait. The next thing is going to be this, the awning, which I can tell you, based on how heavy it is going to be an absolute faff. It's going to be such a pain in the butt. But we'll do as much as we can. Might need to get a helping hand, but we'll see how we go. This isn't too bad so far. Actually, if I can just get those in, that should be sufficient. I was wondering what that noise was. Turns out it was you. I love it. I love the warped effect you've got now. This is brilliant. This is great. I mean, when I'm cooking, I am going to have this awkward little spot here where, you know, it could be raining on me, but that is so, so good. That is absolutely excellent. Yes. Oh, she's coming together. You know, just yesterday it was like 30, I think it was like 36 degrees, and today it's like 15. We are done. It is looking beautiful.
I didn't realise how much I stuffed up my camera because I kept filming afterwards. So a lot of that footage is not really usable because it looks pretty nasty.
I can near guarantee you that that right there is going to fall off. But it was cheap.
See, I actually like bent the lens in. I managed to fix it though. That was the first time I broke some camera equipment and I was able to fix it. We didn't do much more though. I just permanently mounted this, cleaned up a bit more inside, and we also mounted these lights as well. Everything else is the same as it was. And I think this is brilliant. I think this is absolutely fantastic. With this and then the kitchen setup, we're going to be living like kings. With all of this, the way it is set up, it's going to be absolutely brilliant. And I cannot wait for this first camping trip. We've obviously got a lot more to do. I've got to wire up the batteries and I've got to pull this plank across the top there. I haven't done that because I've got the measurements of the batteries, but I want the physical batteries themselves. Not to mention, I'm going to be putting a little like exhaust fan into that so the batteries in the fridge are able to breathe and circulate air through it so it doesn't get too hot. But yeah, I think this is a great starting point and absolutely spectacular. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for this trip. I'm so looking forward to it. Cannot wait.
I'm going to make this corner. I've left the door open, I'll have to shut that. Yeah, this thing looks really good when it's clean. I cleaned it for the first time since I've got it, like yesterday, and it looks gorgeous. It looks really, really good. Well, I say gorgeous. It's as good as a soccer mum looking SUV can look. It's not going to be clean anymore. That's the last one. Ah, gross. Hey, where have you been? I was wondering where you had been. You haven't been rolling in poo, have you? I hope not. I hope not, because you'll get in trouble and you have to have a bath, yeah. Got those bigger tyres for it too. It was good. Could do with black wheels, but I won't spend that much money on it.